For more on GE and other market moves, we are pleased to once again be joined by Danielle Shay of Simpler Trading. Welcome back, Danielle.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
I couldn't be better, and I'm really pleased that you're here because I want you to tell us about what you think about this move about GE. They are making so many different moves themselves, offloading things, throwing things overboard. Is that going to make them a better company, and what do you think about them as a buy?
I definitely do think it will make them a better company because I think what GE needs to do is they need to focus. They really need to focus on their power, aviation, and especially their renewable energy segments of their business. And I think that's what they're looking to do. And this cash infusion is going to help them really reduce their debt and work on their balance sheet issues. So while I look at you look at it in two different ways, right? We look at the overall story, then we also have to look at the technicals. The background of the overall story is great. The technicals, not so great. Over the course of the past 2 years, it's been in an overall downtrend. But if you look at GE from a long-term basis, I do think that they have, especially in the renewable energy area, a lot of room to grow.
Yeah, renewable energy, they seem to be doing well with their jet engines, et cetera. So there are lots of, maybe that's their core competencies that we were speaking about there in the headlines. Danielle, let's move to Target, who's in the news today saying they're going to go after specific retailers in an effort to be more, I guess, Amazon or Walmart-like. Give us the latest on that, and what do you think about them as a buy?
So Target's an interesting case because last year, Target was an incredible retail buy, but it got just completely sold off on the last quarter's earnings report. So I'm a little bit sketched out about Target, but this brand new news story is just incredible because Target has a huge area of potential growth in their e-commerce business. They really have to step it up if they want to compete with Amazon, if they want to compete with Walmart. And I think that the way that they're trying to do that by going in and adding partners in their online space based on what their clients are actually searching for is going to be critical. And I do think that even if this quarter, if they have a bad earnings report, I think that in the long term, it's a great buy.
And let's shift also to Nike and put on our running shoes because they've had this sort of embarrassing problem. I guess they have a lace-up shoe that laces up, I guess, with an app. I don't know if you're using an app to lace your shoes, how that works, but supposedly buyers who've bought these shoes are saying, hey, they only work for a little bit of a time. Nike have been doing pretty well. The whole controversy over the Kaepernick commercials, etc. I noticed last night watching the Academy Awards, they had a great a commercial out there with Serena Williams. But this got to be pretty embarrassing for them. What do you think of Nike, and what do you think about them as something that average investors should potentially consider?
So I do think it's embarrassing, especially the episode last week with the shoe breaking on court for the Duke University basketball player. But at the end of the day, Nike is pioneering a new technology, especially with the self-lacing and the apps. And it also is one of my favorite stock buys. Nike has been one of my favorites to trade in options as well as hold in long-term stock. If you look at the way that it climbed after the fall that we saw in December, I mean, it was one of the very first relative strength buys that rose from the ashes. And regardless of any type of scandal with Nike, I look at those as purely buying opportunities to add to my position.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, and we've just got about a minute left, but I want to ask you, what else have you been looking at? Anything very interesting for the boom busters?
So I really like United Healthcare. United Healthcare has been in consolidation. It didn't really move too much today. And I'm working to add to my position to United Healthcare for the run into the next quarter's earnings series. Healthcare is a pretty good, solid space right now, and I think it's a good place to focus.
One of the few sectors that did really well. I think it might have been the best performing sector of the S&P last year. So we always appreciate the great advice. Danielle Shay of Simpler Trading. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.